And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to A Nice Place to Brew. I'm Jason.
George.
Back on the live broadcast. Today is September 16th. We do our web stream every Thursday here at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a show about all things beer and beer making. This is a place where we talk about home brewing, craft beer, best practices, worst practices, all that good stuff. If you're catching us for the first time, thank you so much. We're so glad you're able to find us. Check out our back catalog on our YouTube page. We have episodes going back more than a year, so there's a lot there. Check us out there. We have an audio podcast under the same name, A Nice Place to Brew, that's available on the podcasting platforms. There will be a new episode coming up soon through the audio podcast surrounding our recent trivia episode. That's also available on our YouTube page. You can check it out there. And last but not least, our website is www.aniceplacetobrew.com. And our social media links are Nice Place to Brew and A Nice Place to Brew. Tonight, we have a special guest with us. And before I introduce him, I would like to say here on the webcast and I will wish a congratulations to Nik and I've Brewing out of Lockport, Illinois on their recent one-year anniversary. And very appropriately joining us tonight is Chad Lindahl, their head brewer. Welcome to the webcast, hey. Chad.
Hey,
Chad.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Cool. Second time on the webcast. Sorry. Thank you so much for coming back.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Sorry, it was
right.
kind of hectic getting everything together here at the last second. But
right on.
But I mean, I'm here.
Good deal.
All right.
So.
Well, let's talk about the important things. What is everybody drinking tonight?
Chad, you want to start?
Sure. So I just cracked our collab we did with Tangled Roots, Fest Friends. So we did a Fest beer, and we bottled that Monday. So yeah, I just cracked and poured one of those. So
okay. So you got to do that a couple years in a row, and then do a what do they call those? What? Chad, help me out here. Will you sample the same beer a couple years in a row?
Oh, do
vertical.
Vertical, yeah.
Do a vertical,
yeah.
And you call it Fest Friends Forever.
That's actually really good, yeah.
It's a long walk, but we got there.
Yeah, we'll have to make it an annual thing. It was a lot of fun. So
good.
Cool. George?
I promised I would save it for the next show when we were live, since we weren't last week with the trivia episode.
Oh!
So Save the Clock Tower.
Who makes Save the Clock Tower, huh?
That would be these guys and us. It's our molasses infused amber ale, which clocked in at... Polly, am I reading this right at 6% for the Save the Clock Tower?
Yeah, 6%.
There
right
you
on.
go. So
I had one of those last week. It was really good.
Good.
Nice.
I like how it turned out.
This is a big moment here. This is George's first taste of this beer.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. Poured nice carbonation.
Okay, it traveled well. Good to know.
It did travel well. Oh, it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. I like that.
It does.
I like how the molasses came through. I thought it was all going to ferment out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I was surprised how much of that molasses came through on that one. Because I'd watched the videos and you guys putting that recipe together, and we got one of those crawlers, and Paul and I cracked it and split it, and I was impressed with how much of that came through.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
No, I was worried that it was going to overdo it. So I guess it could have done one of or both of those. Is it could have all fermented out and there's not going to be any flavor left over, or if it doesn't ferment out, then you've got this really, really sugary beer.
Right.
So,
no, I think it struck a good balance and it's nice and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think Polly's instructions, let's call it, on how he likes to add his yeast so that it doesn't get infected. Ended up working out. I was able to do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did pitch the yeast on that one.
I did.
Yeah.
So
Learned Paulie's process on the cold side.
yes. What about you, Jason? What are you drinking?
So, okay. I just had my first sip, and wow, this is really good. Okay. I've had a really, really heavy 2 days. Well, 3 technically going back to Tuesday. So I was in Wisconsin on Tuesday. I was in Indiana last night, and I'm running on not a lot of sleep right now. So I'm holding up pretty good so far, but we'll see if I wipe out in the next hour or so. But anyways, Wisconsin was my annual trip to get the year's worth of grapes for the wine project. So went to the vineyard, which is an area just south of Madison, and came back with 290 pounds of grapes, which sounds like a lot, but that's actually down from last year.
Okay.
The year before was about 350. But anyways, it was a good picking day. The weather was good. Got everything we hoped for the most part, minus kind of some limited varieties. But anyways, on the webcast in recent weeks, Paulie has talked up a beer retail store in Wisconsin called Woodman's. And the recommendation was echoed through some people outside the webcast as well. So I'm like, okay, this is something I got to check out while I'm up here. So I did. So I walk into Woodman's, and Paulie is not kidding. The liquor department at Woodman's is about the size of most Walgreens here in Illinois. It is no joke. They had 3 separate cooler sections of nothing but craft beer, separated by region, style. I mean, really went all out.
Is that the Woodman's like grocery store?
Yes.
Yes.
So there's one in North Aurora.
Yes.
Right? Is that the same chain?
It is the same chain.
Okay.
I did not know
I wish
about
there
that.
was one around here. Yeah.
Is it laid out the same way here in Illinois? Because they have the liquor department like sectioned off like it's its own store.
Yeah, it's its own store.
Okay.
It's the same thing there. I think it's all of them are done that way. I know that's kind of a Wisconsin thing, but I'm pretty sure the Woodman, it's like Orchard and 88 or just.
Oh, wow.
Just
right off the
Orchard,
highway.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, just past, like, there's a bunch of car dealers, I think.
Right.
Just past all that, right?
There,
I think that's where it's at.
There's
It's
that
just
outlet
north of all
mall
that.
out that way, too.
Yeah, it's just north of the outlet malls and all that.
Yeah.
I haven't been to that one, but I've been to the one in Rockford. That's laid off the same. And then there's one in Algonquin, too. I heard there's rumor that they're going to move one as far south as maybe Tinley Park out this way. And that's kind of exciting.
I don't see why not.
They were like no credit card too. It was like cash or check.
Still that way.
Or a debit card, I think. would
Really?
work, too.
Only credit card is Discover.
Yeah.
Okay, so they kind of went like the Costco route.
Right.
Oh, that and the chain is employee owned too. So I like that idea.
Yeah.
Jason, I didn't tell you, but did you get your you should have gone and get, that's where we get our cheese and sausage, all the curds and all that. The cheese section is amazing over in the cooler section.
Well, it's a Wisconsin grocery chain. I mean,
But it's better than going to like the Mars Cheese Factory or some of those like roadside tourist traps, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
you always have to stop at the Cheese Castle, though.
I've been once, and ever since I've gone to,
We always stop for the novelty of it. I don't know.
Oh.
It was just kind of whatever. I don't know.
Cool.
oh,
So the
thank
beer I'm talking about and enjoying this evening is one of the flagship beers of Wisconsin. All of you are familiar with this. I'm talking about New Glarus. Spotted Cow is an iconic Wisconsin beer, and being only sold in Wisconsin, it is sought after from out-of-staters that come through the state. I made a stop through Woodman's, and I came back with some varieties of New Glarus, which I will share with Paulie in the coming weeks. Tonight, I am drinking a beer called Wisconsin Belgian Red.
you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
amazing.
Yeah. I just sipped it for the first time, and I'm liking it. So the label here, if I can read this, it's really small. You hold the marriage of wine and beer. Belgian Red is a tapestry of flavor. This ale is brewed with whole Montmorency cherries, Wisconsin farmed wheat and Belgian roasted barley, balanced by hops we aged in our brewery 1 full year and then aged in oak vats. Over a pound of Door County cherries in every bottle.
Wow.
And they're not kidding. Like, the cherry flavor is all over this.
So how's it compared to, because you have Belgian beer aged in, with wine infused? How's it compared to our go-to version of that style, the Pollyanna Orenda?
Orenda. I think the biggest difference in this is the ABV. And if somebody wants to run a search for this, you can we can find out how they land side by side. This tastes to me like probably about a 5.5% beer. If I'm way off, I'll change my story. But I think the flavors are there, George, that to be similar, but it doesn't pack a punch like you get from Orenda.
Okay, so Orenda is 11%.
I'm on the New Glarus one right now.
Okay.
It says 11%. Don't ask me from 21. I'm going to the New Glarus web.
Oh, you're going there now. Okay. While
Yeah,
he's doing that, I gotta ask. I mean, you're born and bred Illinois. Isn't the whole thing about Illinois that you guys boycott New Glarus because they refuse to sell into Illinois?
No.
It's an automatic. You buy, you load up.
Yeah, it's sought after.
I definitely remember some people being cranky with New Glarus when I was out there.
Well, it's not just Illinois. They will not sell outside of Wisconsin. That's their deal.
I love that they do that. You can get so much of their offerings everywhere. Every gas station, every liquor store, everybody has just like by the count. They'll have. When we came home from Montana, we went through Wisconsin and we stopped for gas, and I got to load up, and I got lots of peach. Did you get a lots of peach? 21.
I
got
think
that.
so. I got Pear 21 is one.
Oh, that would be good too.
Yeah,
might have to trade.
Okay,
lots of peach is like a sour brown peach ale. It's really good.
It smells like brandy. It's really good. I got a 4-pack of that here. Oh, and Belgian Red's 4%.
Okay.
So
all right. I was in the ballpark then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to get that at just a random gas station, like in a rural stop. Like it was all like the off-road UTVs in the parking lot, and we just went in. We had to get gas, and ran in, and I was able to get a great selection of beer right at this little gas station. Like you don't have to go anywhere special. Like they have it everywhere.
Yeah.
And part of that's because they keep it in the state, so that's kind of their thing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I made that up then.
And the brewery, if you've ever had a chance to go there, the brewery and just the town is super cool. If you like bike riding, there's tons of awesome trails right all around there, and the brewery is just super cool to go check out.
I'll be back.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, how's things going over at? He's really going to be back. Okay. How's things going over at Nik and I've?
They're good. Busy. So like you guys said, we just had our 1-year anniversary. So we had a barrel-aged stout for that, and I had to go pick up more barrels for next year's. So I actually brewed that this week.
Okay.
So it should be in the barrels in a couple weeks, and so that'll be ready for next year. And then just trying to keep up. It's always a challenge, and we have our core beers now that are kind of wanting to be always on, and it's hard to keep those on all the time, along with keeping variety on the other taps. So I'm struggling a little bit with that. To have something never come off tap is hard to manage, just because they go fast, and I got other stuff I got to brew too. And
Sure.
all right, well, if I don't do it this run because I have to do this other one, then it's going to run out. So we'll get it back on as soon as we can. But that's a tough thing to manage on our scale.
Yep.
Yeah, having a set of core beers is a blessing and a curse a little bit.
Yeah. And so we just got into the local grocery store in the area, Burkott's, and so their initial order was like 25 cases. So yeah, and so that's a big dent in just core beers, and that's just in our what we have dedicated labels for. So that's that's kind of a challenge, because then it's like, well, we have all these other beers we're wanting to do and need to do, and keep all the other taps and keep the variety going, and yet keep those going. We've kicked around the idea of looking more seriously into contract brewing, maybe some of those, so I could like take that off my plate, which would be I wouldn't complain about that.
Have you guys done that to this point?
No, we haven't done that.
Okay.
But it's, one of those things where it's probably going to be in our near future. We'll see. But I am, for our one beer that I particularly am not a huge fan of. It's that vanilla cream ale that we make. And it's like cream soda, pretty much. It's hardly a cream ale at this point. It's pretty heavily vanilla, but people love it, and it's our number one seller. So I have to keep doing that, and so I'm actually switching up yeast strains on it just to turn it around faster. And I'm using the Omega Lutra next week on it, just so I can crank it out faster, ferment hot, and get it out and
2 days,
get it done.
48 hours. I'm telling you, it'll finish fermenting. I love the Kvik stuff.
And I'm trying the dried. So they just started offering that one dried in 500 gram bricks. So I'm gonna give that a shot, and I'm probably gonna start just keeping that in stock, because you could use that yeast. It's so many different styles, just a quick turn. I know I know other brewers that are using that for pseudo lagers and cranking them out super fast, and you don't have to worry about temperature control. You just let it go hot, and they come out super clean. And
yep, exactly. You have to let me know what you think about that dry lucha, because you're the second person I know that's got some of it now, and I'm tempted to get it. I just
for the convenience and versatility with it. I may as well keep a brick or two around. The shelf life on it is much longer, I would
years,
think.
Yeah.
That's what's tough with their liquid stuff, is with our schedule constantly changing, where it's like I plan everything out, but it's like, oh no, we need to do this other one first. And it's like, well, the yeast is coming that week, or there's a week lead time on getting their yeast, and it's great because when you get it, it's fresh and ready to roll. But there's some planning and scheduling involved, so doing that a little bit makes it a little challenging. But the dried stuff, it's like, shoot, I should have gotten 2 or 3 bricks of it and just had them in the cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as these guys will tell you, I am a fan of obscure metaphors, and so I will say, with your cream ale, you have the Joe Walsh problem. When he spun off from the Eagles, he wrote a song called "Life's Been Good," about a satirical song about being a rock star. And he said later on in life, if I had known that was going to be my most famous song, I would have written a different song.
Nice pull, George.
Yeah, and you can't drive a Maserati, without hearing it goes 185.
Exactly. Yeah. It is a great song.
It is.
Yeah.
It truly is.
But yeah, that beer is fun. One thing I do like about it, and I'm gonna have to do it again because I didn't do enough last time, but is playing around with one-off kegs on it, since it's a just pretty neutral vanilla flavor beer, I guess, and just adding stupid flavors to it. We did a cotton candy one. We did watermelon, sour cherry. I've done coffee in it. The coffee was really good. So it is a great base profile to build fun flavored stuff with. So we did a mixed 4-pack thing that went over really well, but it was just little sixels I did one-off on,
Okay.
so there wasn't that much. So now I got to, basically triple it and do full kegs of it. So for the next time, so I got to come up with new flavors to do on those. So
did I hear correctly that vanilla cream ale you guys have, that's a bestseller?
It's one of them, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
With me too. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
See, life's been good, man.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just like I'm actually trying to like clean it up a little more and have it be even more like neutral and just be like straight up cream soda. But
Sure.
it is, it's on the sweet side. It's got the vanilla, pretty forward or very forward on it. So yeah, people come in and want that, and when we don't have it, they're disappointed. So
sure.
So yeah, hopefully with the Lutra, to do a quick turnaround on it, and then that solves a lot of problems. Other than having all the other ingredients on hand all the time.
Sure.
In our situation, it's hard to do. So.
How much beer can you make in a brew day?
I can do, so our brew, 4 barrels. It's a 500 liter system, but I can get about 4 barrels. So
is that in 2 turns or 1?
What? No, that's 1 turn. So 2 turns, I get 8.
Okay.
But that's 2 days. I can't do two turns in a day on it, just because everything is the mash and boil kettle are one in the same. So it would be like a 16-hour day, and I'm not doing that on my own. So,
yeah, totally get it.
So I usually do back to back. Every once in a while, I've had things come up or happen that I've had to delay the second day a day. I really wouldn't feel comfortable going further than that, but I've done that, and I haven't had any problems with that. So
right on.
It's just dedicating like 2 days back to back to to brew days, which is not always super easy, but so far it's working out. So.
Good. So for the listeners that are hearing you for the first time, Nik and I've has a very unique brewing setup. And I know we talked about this at length on the first show, but for those who are hearing you for the first time, can you describe that in a little bit of detail?
Yeah. So it's essentially a commercial size brew in a bag is the best way to describe it. So it's a single vessel system that you basically drop in a metal tube that you put that's where you mash in your grain. It does have a recirculating system so that you can recirculate during the mash rest. And then when that's done, you can then lift out that tube with the grain, most of it anyway.
With like a crane or something that
yeah, there's a crane with a winch.
Yeah,
it raises it up and pulls it out, and then you can turn it and drop it onto this little dish thing on wheels, and then shovel the grain out. And and now all that's left in the kettle is the wort, and so then you boil that, and then it becomes your brew kettle. So it's nice for our setup because we're tight on space. So having multiple vessels would not work as well. I mean, we could probably get by with a smaller system that maybe more traditional that I could do 2 turns a day on, but this being the bigger 4 barrels, it works out pretty well. So I've been pretty happy with it overall. I think it's a good starting point too. And I've learned a lot with it, and it's improved. My days have gotten better and easier in the last year, which is always a good thing. So I still kind of feel like the beers are still always improving and being better. So, but pretty much every brew day, I'm trying to refine and get things more sound and consistent and all that. So
It does stand out to me that with this being your first foray into professional beer making, it is quite a step. I mean, it's quite a step just on its own, but stepping into a system like this that's very unique, that's a whole different set of challenges.
Yeah, the hardest part is that I have virtually no resources for help.
Yeah.
It's a German-made system. I've reached out to them. They aren't the most helpful with it. Like trying to get some of the efficiencies, like your hop usage, your hop utilization percentages, things like that. That I was hoping that someone with experience could maybe kind of point me in a ballpark. Should I figure for like 110 or 115%? Versus homebrew, it's like, oh, it's 100%. But as you scale up, it changes. It's not the same. So, and they just referred me to their software, which wasn't really software. It was goofy. They had some recipes on their site that I kind of looked at just to get a rough idea of how much they're using. Am I even close? But they're not giving alpha acid, so I don't really know if it's. I have no, I have nothing tangible to really work with. So I've reached out to every other brewery I've seen that has the same system, and I've gotten a little bit of feedback like once. So, and it was a lot of it was, yep, yeah, that's how it works, and that's how it goes. So, it's those were the challenges we had.
Yeah.
So, it's reassuring at least. So,
I'm sure as you go though, you're dialing in your system, getting closer to where you want it to be as far as IBUs and things. So.
Yeah. And it's also a thing that worries me with it is getting parts. I ordered some these filter screens that go on top of the mash before you put this other metal plate on top. I ordered them last November, and granted, pandemic and they're coming from Germany, and they were on like total lockdown and all that. I just got them 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I bought, this would have been last November is when I ordered it. There's a rubber gasket that goes on the bottom of that pipe that drops in. That's really important. And I had two, but one was ripped. So I wasn't real happy and confident with that one. It was what, the place, the guys we got it from, that's what it is, just what they had. So I went to order a replacement for it, and I bought the last two in the country. So, and then one of them it fell off during when I was pulling it out, which happens sometimes, and you can usually like fish it out. Basically, you could find it, you feel around with like the mash paddle, and you could find and fish it out. But this one time it was like snagged on a coil or the temperature sensor, something, and I tried for like 20 minutes to get that thing, and it was stuck, and I didn't want it in there through the whole boil, and so I ended up cutting it, and that was my spare. So then I was back down to one. So I did get another one now, but yeah, it's like, and those are like simple parts. So I can't imagine what more technical parts, like you can't be down for a couple of weeks. Like that's not going to work. So. Yeah. We might have to get pretty creative. And I've already have like backup plans in case like the pump fails or something goofy happens. I have ideas on what I could do to mitigate the problem. So hopefully I don't have to deal with that.
Would you be like, let's say, knock on wood, man, but let's say something happened with that crane mechanism. Would you?
Oh, well, that's yeah. I mean, because that's just a winch and a cable.
Okay. I was gonna say, could you rig like a pulley system to like still
I'm screwed for the day, maybe. Well, I'd probably run to the hardware store and I could probably salvage it.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of mechanical stuff, yeah. I mean, I could deal with that, but it's more like the proprietary stuff, like the interface, the panel, on there, and even the temperature probe is probably something I could find replacement for, just through like some other vendor or something like that. Same with the pump, and we have a cart pump too, so I could rig that to work if I had to. But yeah, this, some of the other stuff that not 100%, like the electronic boards and stuff, which are not in a great place. There is a chance that they could get wet or something, and that kind of stuff is what I need to be really careful with, because it's not a quick, easy fix. So
sure.
And the German company, I'm sure, doesn't have an office here in the U.S., so there's no parts department or nothing.
No, there's 2 distributors, More Beer in California and some guy in Florida. I don't know the company, but I've talked to him a couple of times. And every time it was, I think I might have one back in the warehouse, but I'm not there. Let me call you back. And that was back in November. And I'm like, dude, I want to spend money with you. I need to buy things from you. And I tried like 4 or 5 times with him, calling like, it was the same conversation every time. And it's like, dude, I need this. Do you have it? Ship it to me. Can you just take my credit card information and just, if you have it, charge it and ship it? I don't care. Like, just something, anything. And it never. I tried so hard to buy from him, and he like wouldn't let me.
Crazy.
So More Beer has been pretty good, but they don't really stock the big systems, because they do like countertop. The same company, they do like homebrew size setups that look like one of those like coffee urn things that you'd see. It's like a stainless, like like
okay,
I don't know, like a cafeteria type thing. That's kind of what they look like, but it's same process though. But smaller. They have like a 1 gallon and I think a 5 gallon or something. So they carry all that too, and that. So, but then like all the stuff I need is like special order. So.
So I received a perfectly legal, not smuggled across state lines, care package of Nik and I've beer. And I have not had a chance to break into them yet, but I'm curious about the ones that I got on a completely in a completely unrelated statement. Hi, Uncle Rick. But anyway,
he stopped in last week and was like, "Oh, what beer should I send him?" So I picked the beers that you got.
Those out.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what he ended up sending me was Locktoberfest. I think Rick's beer, which I'm not sure if is named after him or not.
No, it's Paul, the owner's dad.
Okay. Parasaurus.
Parasaurhopolis.
Parasaurhopolis. Delwood. And I think Peels and Clove was the other one. And then wool socks.
Wool socks and flip flops.
Yeah. So, any suggestions about the best times for those ones?
Anytime really. But
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right?
Yeah. I picked most of those. It's like wool socks and flip flops is one of my favorites. We've had it on for a long time. It's a Scotch Ale, and I think most of it is just people don't know what it is and don't order it because they don't realize what it is. But I was really happy with how it came out. It's got a little bit of brown sugar, which then the molasses does carry through a bit in that. I don't know. I like Scotch Ale, and I think that one came out really nice. It's kind of, I feel like that's kind of like one of the sleepers on our menu that people don't realize is really good. But
one of my favorite things that I've ever made was a Scotch Ale, so I'm excited to try that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else was there? Delwood. I mean, that's like our flagship IPA.
Okay.
It's kind of the West Coast IPA. It's piney and some citrus and little malty. It's a little bit not real dark, but it's a little darker for IPA. But it's a good one. We have like the dedicated labels. But that one I brewed like 3 or 4 different versions of it till we finally got to where it is now. So, and we're pretty happy with where it's finished out now. So we kept it there.
I did have a question for you because the wool socks and flip flops. I noticed that the ABV on that, at least what's listed on your site, is 5.25. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's pretty low for a Scotch
It
ale
is.
for an export. Okay. Is
Yeah.
there a reason that you guys decided to go with a more sessionable? No.
No, it should have been higher, but you know, it's a
Okay.
it's
It
a good one
happens.
though.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
That does lead me to a question I wanted to ask you. What do you have to
Mhm.
do on your specific system to get some of the higher gravities?
I've done double mashing.
Okay.
Not a fan. Because like you have to lift this thing out and then shovel all that out, then put it back in,
Put it back
and
in,
then
yeah.
mix in
Right.
another batch, pull all that out, shovel all that out. Which, I mean, it makes for a very long day, especially when you're just one guy doing it. And the efficiency is not great on it. When I did it, it was like I did all that, and it wasn't, to me. It wasn't like, all right, we got this thick motor oil. The second mash was like the efficiency on it was awful. So
Do you remember what your gravity was?
no, well, which one was that? No, it was. I mean, it was a long time ago. It was last winter.
So-
So do you have a
But,
sheet
yeah,
with
it's just-
like DME or corn sugar or something?
Yeah, all the above.
All the above. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have it on hand anyway, but which the Scotch Ale would have benefited, I think, from a dose of that. But that one I did back. I mean, I brewed that one like back in February, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's a very easy way to get high gravity. Long boils will do. Obviously that'll up it, but that's pretty much the options. There's not much else.
Got it.
I have improved the efficiency overall over the year, but yeah, it's still like, yeah, I'm not getting like anything that's over 7% needs help.
Okay.
On a single mash, on a maxed out on ours, unless I can also drop the amount of water that is in there when I mash, so there's just less water volume. There is a minimum, and I'm above that, so I could drop that like 75 liters or so. That would help, but then you're yielding that much less beer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
but that's an option. It just doesn't drastically change it, so it doesn't really. So I've mostly just stuck to, you see our menu. Most beers are in that 5 to 6% range, because that's where the system does well. And I think because it's a German system, a lot of the beers that they're that they do is more in that range. Good lagers, and it does great on those. So
Yeah.
I am kind of having to play, to the system a little bit, but
Sure.
it's also kind of right where I want my beers anyway. And Paul, the owner, is also as the same. Every once in a while, I was like, oh, we should get a bigger, hazy or bigger. I'm doing a sour IPA in a couple weeks, and want that one up at like the 7 to 8%. So
There's nothing
so we're
wrong
gonna
with
do that.
having sessionable beers and having your brewery focus on that if that's what you want to do. I mean, that's, you can, quite frankly, from a commercial perspective, people are able to drink more of those without getting sloshed. So,
yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Hey, Chad, I got a question for you really quick.
Yeah.
What's your schedule like next week? What's your brew days like? Are you gonna be busy towards the end of the week?
Towards the end of the week.
Or like, I'd say the middle of the week.
Ooh, I'm either brewing Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, well, because the reason why I'm asking is I'm gonna go ahead and fill that barrel that we got from you next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that stout's about ready to get pulled out, and I'm getting ready to fill it up and get that going because I'm actually ahead of the game down here. It's all gonna get messed up after the Oktoberfest next week because I had last week's or this week's release in the cooler last week, and this will be my second week in a row like that. If I can keep that train rolling, that's nice. Now I can what?
I thought you were putting together a brewing collab play date there for a second. You're like, why don't you come down on Friday and help me?
Yeah.
You know, we can collaborate on something.
We were talking about that. We gotta get that going too because we're gonna do we're talking about doing a brewing collaboration, and I got inspired by a beer from Stevens Point, a chocolate. What was it? A chocolate malt stout or something like that? I forgot what it was.
Yeah, malted milk ball chocolate.
Yeah,
right?
something like that. So that's going to be fun to do, especially especially nowadays. Like all my things right now are full of fall beer right now.
We'll do a chocolate sugar bomb, and that'll sell. Everyone loves that.
Oh yeah,
a lot of lactose.
Yes.
Oh God, I know.
Yeah, no, Polly loves lactose in his beer.
Hey, in dark beers, I got no problem. I got no problem with it in dark beers. As long as you don't call it a goddamn IPA, we're good.
I was about to say, you just got to double dry hop it after all that.
Yeah, double dry hop it with some lactose.
Yes.
That cream ale, that vanilla cream ale that I do, there's lactose with that.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
There's a bit. There's just I forget what percentage. It's small though, but
make it a little bit creamier.
Yeah, when I was like, you know what, I'm going all in. I brewed it once, and I did actually right out of the gate. I did because Paul was like, oh, we should do a vanilla cream ale. Like that would be, we should do that. Like it was totally his idea. He wanted to have it. I was like, all right, yeah, I mean we could do that. So I'm like, all right, well if we're gonna I was like, let's just lean into that. And like the average person, especially there, like they don't know what a cream ale is, so they think it's like cream soda. So we're like, we'll just lean into that. We'll just make it like cream soda then. And so I'm like, all right, well I'm gonna put just a little bit, just for the little mouthfeel and the sweetness, and it plays well with it. I mean, it's just a small amount, but.
So have you compared that to what's their name? The people that made Not Your Father's root beer.
Oh, Small Town Brewery. I don't even think they're around anymore.
Really?
They got bought out, but
okay.
I don't know. I don't see their stuff anymore.
No.
They at one time made a cream soda version.
Yeah, I never had it though. But there's their root beers. I mean, it tastes like root beer.
It did,
Yeah. I never did try the super high. I never did get the super high percentage one. They had like a 12% one or something.
It was damn good. It was damn.
Yeah, that's what
they had that on tap at Chicago Street one time. Yeah.
Well, I heard a rumor that they got busted for putting Everclear in their hard sodas. That's why they were getting the high gravities. I mean, take it as a grain of salt. It was just a rumor that I heard, through the beer world and people talking. So I don't know how true it is, but I did hear that. But Jason, that Mexican lager turned out really good. Now that it finished lagering, released it. It'll be out tomorrow.
Okay.
So you'll have to make a point to get the in-laws down there.
Right.
I got a feeling it's gonna go quick because I don't drink the crap, and I've had like 3 glasses of it today already.
Yeah.
You have to get me a crawler of that. That's,
I'll get
Mexican lagers are one of my favoriite. So.
Are they? Yeah, I'll totally get you a crawler of that. And
it's a good one.
That Omega Mexican lager, I think that did it for it.
Yeah.
And, I did. Took me 6 weeks to do it, so that's fine. I'm doing a Maibach tomorrow with our buddy Mike Davidson from JBG, because he's going back to Germany again for 13 months now. And he said he wanted to do he wanted to come down here and brew one day. So all week him and I've been working on a recipe together. and we're gonna do it.
Is he doing a military thing or?
Yeah, he's in the
Okay.
Army National Guard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he just came. He was gone for like 11 months. Yeah, and now he'll be back. He's leaving Saturday, I believe, and then he'll be back on in October of 22.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to get a couple crawlers of that and set those aside for the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonder if I could figure out a way to get the stuff shipped to get the stuff shipped to Germany without getting caught.
I was thinking that myself, and I was like, well, we may have to take that conversation offline.
Call it a snow globe.
Yeah.
If you do figure it out, let me know. Because
Okay.
I have some people I want to send beer to in Italy. I actually have a cousin that has a brewery in Italy that I just found out about like 4 months ago or something. And so like we've been talking back and forth. It's kind of funny. They have like a similar size system, and it's like awesome little city in was it Spezia is the name of the brewery in Italy though. Super cool. But it's my wife who is my cousin and she's from Sweden, and she married a guy from Italy, and they have a brewery in this like old little city, and it's like right on the coast. Like my aunt's been there. She was on a cruise, and it looks super cool. So we're trying to figure out a way to do a collab and like get each other the beers, and it's like, it's a tough thing to do, but
What a cool story.
What'd you say the brewery was called?
La Spezia,
La
LA, yeah,
Spezia. I
SP.
see. I got it. Okay.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah,
What kind of beers do they make?
that's what I was just looking up.
A little bit of everything. You know, they've got an American IPA. Hops are tough to get there, especially American hops.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a pretty. I think when I've looked, it's pretty standard, list of beers.
So what I'm seeing is
Pretty
they have an
interesting.
Abbey Ale, an American Pale, a Saison, an IPA, a lager, a stout, a wit beer, orange chocolate stout, and a somewhat difficult to navigate website.
So that's a very
I've only seen
diverse
their,
menu.
Chad, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only seen like through their like Facebook page. I haven't seen their actual website, but yeah, it was kind of interesting that they that it was like related to them, and they've got a brewery there. So I was talking with them a little bit. It was kind of cool. So I just have to go there someday. So
Right on.
it'd be cool.
Maybe figure out a way to get some kind of international distributor to do a one-off distro. Send some back.
Here's
Send a couple
a
bags.
one case of beer.
One case of beer to one
Just
person.
throw
Yeah.
it on top of those other kegs to ship in there. No big deal.
Oh man. All right, but
But
that's
by the
definitely-
way, this beer, I'm giving a rave review to this beer.
yeah.
Is that the Belgian
Really
Red?
good.
Hang on a second.
Paulie, I think I asked Jason this and he didn't remember before, but who was the dude in the JBG that loved to put Russian Imperial Stouts on top of just a veritable shit ton of cherries?
Is that Glenn?
I think you're right.
I think it was Glenn. Glenn Freitag.
Okay, do you remember that beer, Jason?
I believe I do. Yes.
Okay, so
Oh,
how's
man.
the cherry kind of compare to that?
Brew day. Have you ever had a brew day with that guy? With them two?
No.
Oh my God! You thought it was? I thought some of my brew days were shit shows as home brewer. Like they were drinking 10% beers, like but as they were crushing grain.
Oh, I've done that. It did not end well.
Yeah, we both have, George.
And the funny thing was, is most of their beers turned out really good.
Yeah.
It was when they didn't start drinking early is when they made shitty beer, and they always made, nothing under 9%. Oh, somebody brought a puppy into the brewery.
Oh, cool. To answer your question, George, I think the cherries just come out very clean in this beer.
Okay.
And it's a little hard to compare because if all of their beers are 9+%, this is just going to take way differently than one of those.
Sure. That makes sense. All right.
So, but again, a rave review. This is an awesome beer. And it's not like I'm getting to the bottom of this glass and it's not feeling overpoweringly sweet like a lot of those fruit beers can.
Yeah. Next time you go up there, check and see if the tap room's open, because like Chad said, if you've never been to the New Glarus Brewery, you have to go.
You gotta go, yeah.
You just gotta go because it's so cool how they made their beer garden. They built like little buildings to make them look like Swiss ruins on a hillside, and they're brand new buildings in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's like self-guided. You can just like walk through the brewery. It's really interesting.
They got a little pilot system in the brewery and everything. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I remember the first time I went there, we didn't know that they closed at 4, and we showed up at like 3:30. We're like, oh, hurry up, buy our bottled beer, because I wanted to buy beer. But I did learn, don't ever buy your beer from their general store, because it's more expensive there than going to Woodman's. I usually buy all my.
They usually have a lot of like interesting only can get beers there though.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like most places, but a lot of like the wild ales and they have that whole like the cave beers or whatever that.
Oh, then they got that.
That's all their wild stuff.
They got that wild fermentation room where that's kind of cool. They let you walk around in there. They just won't let you look at the top of the vats, unfortunately. But one day I'll figure it out. I'll pick the locks and go running around in the goddamn place and get arrested. Explain that one to my boss.
They knew who they hired.
So Jason, you got a bunch of grapes that you make wine with.
Yes.
Right. So what do you do with? Yeah. Did you get them crushed or do you crush them?
Yeah. So the way it works is the place is basically a farm, and it's just got many different rows with different varieties of grapes. And when you get there, they hand you a pair of shears and hand you a couple of buckets and just say you have full access to the vineyard, and then they'll charge you for whatever weight you pick.
Okay.
So as soon as you pick everything, it gets weighed. So that's what they're going to charge you for. They take it over to a crusher, put it through, and then all the pits and everything just go into a separate container. And then if you're making a white wine, or should I say, if you get there early enough in the season where the white grapes are still available, they can then take it over to a juicer and they'll press it for you.
Okay.
So
you still have.
Go ahead, Jack.
You still have the full whole grapes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
all crushed, so it's all just kind of mush at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have? I don't really know how all that works wine-wise, but then what do you do with all like the grape skins? Are you going to brew something awesome with that, or no?
Yeah. So the one thing that you can do that is there's a popular wine waste product, and we were talking about Italy before. This is a famous Italian drink. It's called Grappa.
Uh-huh.
And Grappa is made from spent wine skins.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you could use those in brewing a beer too.
Is that true?
Yeah, you could.
What could you make out of?
You could do like a wild ale or like a saison and rest it on the grape skin. You could also. So Omega has, and I don't know much about it at all, but I know they have that new was it Cosmic Punch yeast that converts the styles into like crazy tropical fruit flavors. And one of the things they suggest is grape skins because they're full of thiols. So you could, I don't know when you would add those, but I'm sure you could just email them and talk to them, and they would probably give you ideas. And you could do that. I don't know if you Whirlpool edition or when those would go in, or if they just go in the fermenter. I don't know, but that would be something I would definitely, if you have a bunch of them, I would definitely try and mess around with that, because that could be super interesting.
I will have about 150 pounds of it when this is all said and done. And that's really interesting. I've never even thought of that. I'm not really a wild beer kind of guy, but I'm very intrigued about what kind of thing I can make out of that.
You gotta try it.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a pretty crazy IPA. If you use is the Cosmic Punch available homebrew?
It is. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now.
You might even get a sour, Jason.
Oh,
that would make sense.
Yeah.
No, I believe it is available, but you might have to order it. You might have to order it from Omega personally, because Omega get Punch. Oh, it comes in a homebrew pack too.
Okay.
You know what? I would say you might want to, because I'm on the Omega website right now as we speak. It's, if you want to take the note down, it's OYL-402. But you know what? Remind me. I can send you the order desk number, because I have it on my phone, and they're really good about technical questions and whatnot too.
Okay.
So you could just call them direct and ask them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, one of these years, what you need to do, Jason, is you need to make brandy.
Oh, that Lasso Peaches tastes like a brand. It smells like brandy on the aroma. That nose is really good. Hopefully, I got 2 bottles left. Hopefully, I can save one for Jason.
Yeah, I got one or two. I think I have 1 or 2 too. So maybe between the 2 of us, maybe we'll be able to save one.
Yeah, so we got a 4-pack between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 packs, maybe.
Okay. Well, I remember, years ago that all those fruit beers, they came in, I think, 750s. So when you opened them, you're committed to a 750 of it. So you always crack that at a party. I never cracked one at home to sit here and drink it by myself. But
the Serendipity is a good one too from them.
Oh, Serendipity, strawberry rhubarb, that's really good.
Yeah.
I remember they took the strawberry rhubarb out offline for a good 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And now it's back.
Blacktop was still my favorite, regular beer from them, but they took that out. Yeah, it was a black IPA. They stopped making it 5 or 6 years ago.
Well,
that one's solid.
Yeah, Pat Swell, that brown ale, that was really good too at one time.
Yeah,
they had that around.
Yeah, I remember that one. They still do Staghorn, the Oktoberfest, right?
Oh, I should have told you to give me a 6-pack of that when you were at Woodman's, because I haven't had it yet this year.
Okay.
Oh well, I guess I'm just gonna have to drive to Wisconsin.
Oh man, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I guess I'm gonna go to Wisconsin, and then I will not go to Mars Cheese Castle because I don't go through Kenosha. I go right up to Rockford, and I'll hit. I can hit Janesville. Actually, there's a homebrew store in Janesville too, Jason.
Oh,
that
right.
I've ordered some stuff from. I know Kevin's ordered from them too, because they sell you could order 4 ounces at a time. It sounds like they buy an 11-pound bag and they do it made to order,
Okay.
So, but all right, I'll be right back. I'm empty. I gotta go drink. I got a goal tonight. We're getting rid of this black IPA. I need it to be
All
gone
right.
so I can have it on tap tomorrow.
Well, hurry back because I got an empty glass too, and I need a refill.
All right.
So yeah.
Wow, I'm getting a lot of ideas here for things to do.
Okay, so
things I've never thought of.
For anybody that doesn't know, brandy is distilled wine aged in a cask. And so I think you can you still need to have your Sullivan Estates. I understand. So just get an extra couple pounds of grapes and you can make a small batch of brandy.
Okay.
Get one of those little casks and it'll make it pretty quick.
And you can make brandy out of anything with sugar, basically bananas, apricots.
That is true. Some of the best wine I've ever had did not come from grapes. So you just because you're not working with grapes does not mean you're not working with wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sour IPA that we're doing an apricot sour IPA, and trying the Philly sour yeast in that. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm actually, the name of it is going to be like Quince Bounty, I think is what I'm going to call it, which is a relatively obscure reference. Relative to me, but so I don't know if you guys catch that at all.
Quince Bounty?
Quince. Yeah.
Quince, right? With
Quince.
a T?
Yeah, Quince from Jaws.
From Jaws, yeah. Okay, yes, thank you. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, one of the things in order for Chief Brody to go out was with him on the boat was a case of apricot brandy. So
right,
apricot.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I like the references like that like no one's gonna really. Maybe one or two people will get it without being like any explanation at all. But it's like those one or two people, they get it.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a less obscure one was we did a white peach sour, and it was Toad's Bad News.
What was that?
Toad's Bad News. It was a white peach sour.
Toad's Bad News.
No, don't know it.
Not getting that reference.
Peach, Princess Peach, Toad. Your princess is in another castle.
Toad's Bad News. Okay.
Yeah, Toad.
Yeah.
Sorry if you.
Yeah.
I have these little headphone things in. I don't know how well you guys.
No, you're good. You're good. Yes. No. Your princess is in another castle.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
My wife actually came up with that one. That's better. Yeah, she came up with that. We were driving home. I'm like, yeah, it's like I want to do like a Mario reference, like Bowser's captor.
Bowser's
like
Castle.
No, like Bowser's Prisoners. I was like, no, I don't want to go that route with it. Like Toad's Bad News. Yes, that's it. Done. No more discussion. That's it.
Yep, I'm done.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's kind of how we came up with the name of A Nice Place to Brew, much to my wife's chagrin. One of us said a nice place to brew instead of a nice place to live, and that was it. You know?
Nice.
So, yeah. So,
sitting in Emmett's in Downers Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's one of the hardest things sometimes is a decent name that hasn't already been used, and well, that's the biggest thing. It hasn't been used, and that it has any sort of anything. Like the wool socks and flip flops, there's like a really nice week that week where it's like, but there was still like snow on the ground and stuff. Like, oh well, it's like kind of getting to be flip flop weather, but you still need your wool socks on because it's all like snowy and slushy out there. So it's
I'd say that's a great beer name.
I like it.
Somebody else, Pipeworks, just did Stocks and Sandals Feather or something like that. Like the same type of thing, but they just released a beer like last week with that. Like, oh, well, so I was on the right track with ours. So, I know that they didn't copy it, but, it's nice to see someone else had the same like line of thinking on it. So,
yeah,
so it's kind of reaffirming sometimes.
Okay,
But
right back.
All right. Well, at
Go,
least one
tag
person
it.
one person in the audience is happy to see you.
Sean,
I don't know.
So. Oh,
Oh,
but
sorry
yeah.
about that.
No worries, Paulie.
Customers are talking to me, so I gotta be sociable. They're all looking at me like, "What are you doing back there by yourself
No
with your
worries,
earbuds in?"
it's the same thing here, but it's the neighbors outside, and
Oh, okay.
kids are upstairs, and the neighbor kid is like, kind of at the back door, like, guys, can they come out?
Yeah, go ahead, go. Little brat.
We were just trying to convince Jason to make brandy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we have to convince them. I think we have it. Like
I think we
it's
have
a sure
it.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we just have to build the still, right?
Right. Well, that's the
easy
thing.
part.
Yeah. I'm not sure his HOA is going to be happy about that, but you know.
Well,
Yeah.
minor
I don't know.
details.
Minor details. I know a place that we could probably go get it done down here in the wild.
Actually,
in the wild
I don't
south.
think my HOA has anything about stills in the backyard. I've read it. I'm pretty sure.
You've read the
That they-
bylaws, and there's nothing about
You know-
building a still.
Yeah, I did not see anything in there. So
Okay.
Bylaws where?
We were saying your HOA might bark if you build a still.
Just a little.
but pretty
Considering what
sure it's
crybabies
not-
they are.
I'm pretty sure it's not explicitly written in there about it still. No, I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I think you're
If
right.
it's not now, it will be shortly. Oh, my first house I moved out of when I moved out of my parents' house 20 years ago. We bought a townhouse in Frankfurt. And, all right, a bunch of kids in the early to mid 20s in a townhouse. Of course, it's a party house. Oh my God, they started making rules up as they were going along against us. It's for hand sanitizer. There you go, Sean. Oh God, he's back. Hi, Sean. That's funny as hell.
So-
are you coming? Hey, Chad, are you coming down for the Oktoberfest next Saturday, or is that Paul going to do that?
I'm not going to be able to. It's my son's birthday that day.
Oh.
So, otherwise, yeah, I would be. But he asked me about it the other day, and yeah, so I unfortunately can't do it that day. But where are you guys doing it? Like in the parking lot?
And the front of the parking lot, like they got the three stairwells on the like front dock area. It's going to be it's going to be in between the two stairs in front of the brewery. We're going to have that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have that, and actually, we're going to have the guy that's doing all the printing for us now, our new printer. He's actually sponsoring the event. He's making all the banners and whatnot. He's actually
cool.
He's making a couple things for you guys too, because he wants to make little signs for all the breweries that are going to be there, just kind of show off his work for everyone. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited.
There's going to be
about
there's going to be a new campaign of hashtag Where's Polly that's going to be
Oh,
it's going to be
God.
viral on the internet after enough stickers get printed because they're going to be
they're
blanketed all over Chicagoland.
They've already been printed and they're already going up.
Yeah.
I heard about.
Oh,
Okay, it's
There
reached
are-
Lockport already. So
Yeah,
They're
they're
we don't
already
have
up.
any in our brewery yet, but I heard about it.
Give it time. I know he'll be there. Actually, he's in the brew. Actually, he's in the brewery right now too. So he sent me a picture last time. Like, where'd you go? He's like, you gotta start getting out. And I'm like, oh fuck. I guess I gotta start going other places when I have time. So but-
if we could take a second and dig into one of Sean's comments here, Chad.
okay.
I just saw it, so I just figured out how to see comments on the side there, and I saw that one. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Not a pro golfer. So we had to. I know where that's coming from, but so So we had the Brewers Guild had a golf outing a while back, and we were both at it, and I was not the strong member of our team. I actually played halfway decent. I don't play much, but I do have like a decent foundation that I can like keep it on the fairway.
Okay.
But it was a really good time, and my wife was dropping me off and picking me up, so there was no concern about my condition to get home. So that was nice. And when the Brewers Guild put something on like that, so they had the drink carts come by very often, and it's all our beer in it, and it's all free. It's just we had our golf cart was just like full of. Well, I still have one. All right, and then I'm packed up like 3 or 4 beers deep, and it was a good time.
Did you finish the round?
Yeah, so our team actually we lost by 1 stroke, and so 2 teams tied for first, and we were 1 stroke behind them.
Damn.
We played 2 of the guys. They were our insurance guy, so that should tell you that they're good golfers. But he was like a collegiate level golfer. Like he played in I forgot somewhere in Georgia or something. Whatever college he went to, he played in college. He's like, oh yeah, I play a little bit. No, he was like almost could have been pro. Like his shots were ridiculous. But we did play to the scramble. We did play 1 shot of mine on the day, and I'll take it on that. Because everyone tees off, then you play the best ball every time, but everyone plays from that spot, and it just keeps everything moving. Especially with it was a bunch of brewers playing.
The scrambles are fun.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you do it as a shotgun where everybody was on a hole?
Yeah, there was no literal shotgun to start it.
Well,
well, I used to race motocross, and I did a hair scramble, and it was a shotgun start, and it was a literal shotgun start.
Oh,
there was a guy walked out there with a shotgun and shot it in the air, and that was the start of the race. And that's like a crazy like through the woods like 2-hour race thing. But yeah, that was a literal shotgun thing. But
wow,
this I thought we were all going to shotgun beers to start, but that didn't happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, a golf outing put together by the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild sounds like a blast.
It does.
It was.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone. I really do.
We're so grateful to get in on that. It was our insurance guy called up. Paul was like, "Hey, we have 2 spots for this. If you guys want to come," so they just invited us to come with because, it was the entry was a little bit of money, but it all goes to the Brewers Guild and all that, and they've done awesome stuff. So it's great to be part of that, and part of and get to go out and have fun with a bunch of people. And they fed us before and after and all that. They really take care of us, and it was a really good time. So
that's awesome.
I'm actually headed down to Newport News this weekend. We're going to do some golfing down there, so that should be fun. Right on the coast in Virginia. So
here's some words of wisdom.
It is. And he's not wrong.
My shots just aren't very far. Like I would say most, besides like the ridiculous, I'm going to go for it over the water hazard, because we already have the beautiful shot that no one's going to do better than. So then it's like I tee up, and it's like, well, I'm just going to go for it. That was one of the later holes for me. It was like, I don't care, whatever. But I think the only thing I faded towards the end to the last few holes, like it was halfway decent, but our short game was bad. Our putting, everyone was off. If we could have gotten that the halfway decent, we would have done really well, because everything else was those guys were just it was like watching pro golfers with those other 2 guys.
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty like, oh, okay. Yeah, you guys are like real golfers. You guys play all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun to hang with too. So
Nice.
Right on.
yeah.
Hey George,
Yeah.
you've been quiet about your assessment of the
Well,
Save the Clock Tower.
I was going to cap off the show with that, and but this is the last bit of it that I have here. So I am I've gone through a crowler's worth, and I can safely say that yeah, we did a pretty damn good job putting together that recipe.
I agree.
It's got a little bit of sweetness. Now, one thing I am noticing is, and I'm assuming this is reminiscent of the molasses in there. I'm getting just the tiniest amount of kind of tinniness in there.
Okay.
But that might just me being overcritical of the beer that we designed and made. But other than that, like it's nice and full bodied like an amber should be. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but not overly so. The alcohol range is just where you want it to be for the style. And overall, I think we did a pretty good job.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to get Brando a can of that. Or did I bring it to him? No, I didn't bring one yet. I got to make sure he gets one. I saw
Yes.
I went to...
Okay, so I got to give some props to Brando. You know, recently... Plainfield, thank you for reminding me of this, Polly. Recently, Plainfield was under a boil water notice because they found traces of E. coli in their water supply. So they said, if you're going to, drink the water or cook with it or whatever, boil it. So Brando and team over at Workforce did turn their hot liquor tank on to boil and said, if you have a vessel to store water in, bring it, and you can fill it up for free. And it's a class act thing for them to do, and all props to them for doing that.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all from them. I saw that too, and it's like it's the way that they like give back to the community is like it's so organic too, and so like natural. Like it's like, well, yeah. I mean, not like, of course they're doing that, but just with what they built, it's like, yeah, that's exactly how they operate. They give back in like the best ways possible. And if you give them this, like, hey, we got you, like, we're here and we want to help. And it's just, that's exactly sums them up, Yeah,
it was the best way to reach out to the community, and more power to you, and well done, Brando and team.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's great.
What's that?
No, I was going to say that's really number one. That's amazing they're doing that, and I'm really glad that came out here on the show. Brando's been a great contributor. He's He's got a part in our home brewing journeys, me and George, being that our first ingredient source was Workforce. Mm-hmm. We went down there and we never just came back with ingredients. We came back with knowledge. And
right. It's like when they had their last day, like I went there for that and just, I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for them. Absolutely. And there's no way to like thank them enough for that. And it's not just like, it is Brandon and Amanda, but it's also like the team that they built, and then the whole community that they built, and then it's like this. It's so much bigger, and it comes from what they've done, and I mean, it's like every time I see them, it's like the same thing. Just thanking them for everything that they've done, even just so far, and just always willing to help and. Just good people.
And
absolutely.
And you're right, Chad. It's so organic because every time you try to thank, Brando or say how much he's influenced your journey and whatnot, it's always like, that's just the, he's like, okay, cool.
it's like he's not like brushing it off or blowing it off, but at the same time, it's like he he's so humble about it.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
like we were there so many stories from there, like warming up bottles off the hot liquor tank for my son because he was really fussy about the temperature of his bottles. And oh yeah, let's go grab some hot water out of the hot liquor tank to warm up a bottle formula. To pouring down rain, and he has me pull my car into the brewery through the overhead door all the way in to pick up the wife so she doesn't have to go out in the rain. Those kinds of things. Like just just come on and just pull it on in. Like there's so many stories like that. They did so many classes and so much education. I hit everything that they offered that I could. All flavors training. He bring in when Omega was first starting up. Lance came in and talked yeast. They had somebody else for yeast. I was there for like a tech talk thing. There were so many of those that they did over the years that just really built so much of the knowledge that I've gained, throughout the years that, I credit to them. So
yeah, I was really sad when I saw that they shut down the homebrew side, though I understand why. But I can safely say there's a large portion of Chicagoland that would not be homebrewers to the scale they are, and professional brewers to for that matter, if not for that place. Full stop.
Absolutely.
Sean, it was Imperial. It might have been. I feel like it was like Yeast or White Lab. So for some reason, it was a long time ago. I just remember Distill was there, and they brought a bunch of beer just to share of all like their sour series. And it was like I was in awe of like they just bring like 4 cases of beer and just hand them out, like whoever wants one, just go ahead. And it was like such like a holy crap! You're just giving me beer, really? It was so.
George, what was the class that we went to there? Was it kegging? Intro to kegging?
I think it was intro to kegging that we went to. Yeah, and it was. Did we buy our first kegs? We didn't buy our first kegs from there. We bought them online from, I think, Beverage Elements. But we did get a bunch of our kegging equipment and line and regulators and stuff from him.
Yep.
And yeah, definitely took advantage of the kegging classes and stuff. So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I had
where's Polly?
I had a friend that worked for
fucked off that way. Go ahead, Jack.
Hi, Polly. I had a friend that for a soda distributor. I forget which one of the two, Coca-Cola probably. And he had mentioned, he's like, oh yeah, we have all these like little. Somehow we got talking about kegs. He's like, oh, there's like tons of these little kegs like out back behind the warehouse. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Can I get some of those? Like, yeah. How many do you want? He got me like 12 of them.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and I mean they were not in the best shape.
Well, sure. Yeah.
But they still had soda in them, and they stopped using those 80s, 90s, early 90s. I don't know.
So
they had like 20 years worth of soda in them.
Yeah, well, I don't. Maybe they weren't that old, but I know like when they switched to syrup mixing. But I mean, they were under like the ones I had were all still under pressure. Hey, this is a puppy.
Is this about to be a commercial about pet adoption?
Polly's gonna start singing Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Don't do it.
No, this is an ASCAP thing. No, this is just I was telling you about. Look at this little guy.
Yeah,
did you just adopt him?
No,
he's so cute.
He's a Rottweiler Husky mix.
Okay.
What a nice looking dog.
Oh yeah, he's so cute. I just had to hold him for a second.
Yeah.
Everyone else had their turn, so I had to give him a little loving. Gotta give him his 15 minutes of fame while he's young.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually,
what's his name?
I don't know if he's got a name yet. One of our customers just had their dog had a litter of these.
Okay. You should name him Brando.
There you go.
Well, let's formally introduce to a nice place to brew, Brando.
Brando, that's your name.
Brando the puppy.
Yeah, Brando the puppy. Oh, okay. Holy. I'm gonna let you go run around here, Ken. Grab him. Oh. Here you go, bud. Say bye. Bye.
Bye, Brando. Make sure to piss on everything.
I know, right? I'm sure there's a tangled root sticker around here somewhere.
All right, fellas. Well, I am running low here.
All right. About time?
I think it's about time.
I think it's about
All
time.
right. Chad from Nik and I've's in Lockport, Illinois. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the 1-year anniversary and nothing but success in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We will be back next Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time here for the webcast. Our back catalog is available on our YouTube page. We have an audio podcast under the same name, A Nice Place to Brew, available on the podcasting platforms. Our website is www.aniceplacetobrew.com, and our social media links are Nice Place to Brew and A Nice Place to Brew. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Hope you have a great weekend. And before we close out, we raise a glass and we say, Paul, send us out.
Takes a lot of good beer to make great beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.